Welcome back. We've got another little project here. This is a lawnmower. Backstory on it was my dad's. He passed away about 7 years ago, and it's been at his home ever since. We think it may have been used, maybe 4 years ago, but it does not start now. And my sister would like to be able to use it on her yard that she's at. So I'm gonna see if I can figure out what's wrong with it and get it started and get it back to her. Check the gas, and it is empty, so can't really see in there, but it's got almost like a sheen or a varnish to it, which is pretty common with the ethanol fuel that we have nowadays. It tends to screw up these small motors real bad. Oil is real full, so it's possible the fuel that was in, or the gas that was in the tank, it may have just gone through the carb. Maybe the float was stuck, got into the motor, and sitting in the bottom of the motor. I kind of doubt that he would ever run the machine out of gas and just store it, so the gas probably had to go somewhere, so it's probably sitting in the bottom of the motor there. So we'll have to look at that. Obviously, it doesn't start without fuel, so first thing I'll try is I'll pour some good non-ethanol fuel in it, see if it'll start. Maybe we'll get lucky. More than likely, there's, the carb is probably a little plugged up. Float might be stuck. May not have spark. We'll see. First thing, we'll put a little splash of fuel in it and see if it starts. Like I said, this is non-ethanol gas. I normally burn this in all my small engines just because the problem that you get when you store these little motors with ethanol gas. This mower here is it's a yard machine, 6.75 horse. Call it a ready start, so it has no primer and no choke. So I'll just press this kill switch. And we got nothing. So we'll check for spark. And if we got spark, we'll go into the carb, see what's happening in there. Not very tight. Doesn't look that bad. Gap looks fairly good. If I can clamp that somehow, crank it and see if I can see a spark. So you're gonna have to tell me if you see spark. What do we see? So we got spark. Pretty good spark, actually. You know what that means. We'll dribble a little bit of gas into that spark plug hole and put the plug back in and see if it fires. So I'm going to take a little bit of gas out of the tank here, since I know it's good. And I'll squirt it in here. Probably way too much, but that's okay. And I know it's only finger tight, but This is just a test. So we'll see if it fires. Well, that's good. We know the motor's good. Didn't smoke too much. So I'm guessing it's probably a clogged carburetor. So we'll pull that apart and see if we can clean it and get it running. I'll start with pulling these two Phillips screws up on the top. Get this plastic cover off. We'll pull the air filter cover off. See what kind of surprises we got here. Yeah, that's not good. I'm going to say that's the original. That probably didn't help it run any. We got 3 5/16 screws here. Yeah, there's a lot of just gummy, gooey, sticky residue, and I'm sure that's left over from the gas over the years. That ethanol that they put in it is bad stuff. That's that automatic choke that they have. Seems to be working. It's closing it. And I believe when the motor's starting, the fan here will push this vane or this sail away with the force of the air, which keeps the choke open. And then when you shut the motor off, choke closes. So go ahead and pull, what do we got here? 1, 2, 2 that I can see. Give you very good access to these. So we just got the 2 screws that are on either side of the carburetor that need to come out. I actually pulled out a screw that did not need to come out. I'll put that one back in. We got the throttle linkage right there. So once I pull the gas line off, I'll be able to rotate the carb and get that linkage off. And get the carburetor up on the bench and start cleaning it up. I'll go ahead and pinch off the fuel line. Let's get it up on the bench. Yeah, this thing could use a good cleaning. It's pretty dirty. The bowl is held on with a 1/2-inch bolt. And it's got a bunch of water in the bottom of that bowl, which is not good. Yeah, there's a bunch of crap in the bottom of the bowl too. Bunch of dirt. Just grime. All that stuff. And there's not a lot you can do with these as far as getting inside of them and cleaning them. And I'll spray it with carb cleaner, but these are sort of a sealed unit. You can't tear it apart. Yeah, just look at that throat. All the varnish and gum. I'll spray it up the best I can and put it back together, see if that helps. If not, we may be looking at a new carb. See if I can get that gasket off. Or maybe I'll leave it on. Clean off the dirt around it. And we'll spray it. Not too bad. Pretty dirty. Yeah, I'm not sure about the gasket. It might be toast. We'll see. So I've cleaned it about as good as I can. I just wish there was a way to tear it apart, but it's pretty clean. My only fear is that gasket right there. It looks like it might be sealing. You know, there's that little round part there that might seal against it. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it, see if it leaks. But I tested this jet, made sure, you know, you can blow into the inlet, you know, this direction, and air will blow into it. When you turn it upside down and blow on it, you shouldn't be able to blow air into it. And I did it, and it did that. It didn't let any air in, so that is working. So we'll throw it back on and see what happens. This bowl, it had just a ton of varnish and crap stuck to the bottom of it, along with the water that was in the bottom of it. So hopefully that takes care of it, good cleaning, and we can fire it back up. So I screwed the carb back on, put the fuel line back on. attach that ought to choke, and I do notice that's working a whole lot more freely than it was. It was pretty gummy before, so hopefully that helps. But obviously I'm going to order up a new air filter for it. Let's go ahead and pull this thing open and see if it'll start. Try a little starter fluid. Well, we'll try it again. Call that a win. I'll put all the pieces back together on it and run it back over to my sister's house. Hopefully it'll continue to run for her. It'll be somewhat of a reliable little mower. They're not real expensive, probably a couple $100. But yeah, at least it starts, at least it runs. Probably change the oil on it. And maybe take a look at that plug again, maybe gap it. And maybe clean the underside of the deck. And she should be good. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you were entertained. Hopefully you learned maybe a little something. And I'll see you on the next one.